Hello everyone, welcome to IACE's English quiz. Here is your first question and you got 30 seconds to answer and your time starts now. Well, your time is up. Now, this question has been asked in SBI Clerk's Prelims of 2020 and what were you have to do? Like, what is the question? You have to find out from the given three sentences in which the word hostile is correctly used. So here a word is given hostile and three sentences are given in which sentence the word is correctly used, and based on that options given you have to choose the appropriate option. But first let us learn what is meant by hostile. Hostile have different meanings. One meaning is feeling opposition, or dislike. Another meaning is unfriendly. And there is one more meaning which is related to military. So of or related to military, of a military enemy. So this is the meaning of hostile. Now, having learned, let us see the first sentence. He made hostile efficiency a key part of his budget plan. Here we are talking about budget plan, and here what do we have? Efficiency, which is positive thing, and hostile efficiency, that means enmity efficiency, dislike efficiency, unfriendly efficiency. Doesn't give sense, right? So first sentence is incorrect. That means the hostile is not appropriately used in the first sentence. Now look at the second sentence. There has been a hostile reaction to the government's proposed tax increase. Here what is that? Tax increase. When tax is being increased, do you feel happy as a citizen? No, right? You feel, our income is not increased but tax is being increased, and whether income increased also you're not happy to pay more tax. That means your feeling is not positive. You require a negative feeling to the government's proposed tax increase. So here hostile reaction. So what kind of reaction it is? Hostile reaction. That means something which is dislike, unfriendly reaction. So here the usage is correct. That means second sentence is correct. So in second sentence, hostile is correctly used. And now look at the third sentence. The security forces exercised great restraint by not responding to hostile attacks and threats. So here we are talking about security forces. You can talk about border forces or any security forces here. They exercise great restraint by not responding to hostile attacks and threats. That means you can talk about this enemy attacks or opposition attacks or threats. That means in sentence 3 also hostile is correctly used. So your answer should be both second and third. Look at this, only one, no. 1 and 2, no. We require 2 and 3. Both 2 and 3, yes, exactly. 3, all of these, no. So your answer is option C. Well, here is your next question and you got 30 seconds to answer. Your time starts now. Well, your time is up. Here also you are asked to choose from the given sentences in which the word wig is appropriately used. That should be contextually and grammatically it should be correct. Now let's learn what is wig. So vague has different meanings. One meaning of vague is uncertain. So we generally say in class, don't give me vague answers. That means don't give me answers which are not certain. So of uncertain, another meaning is indefinite. So it is not clear, it's not definite. So not only that, another meaning indefinite or uncertain of what? Uncertain or indefinite, let me make it clear, of character or meaning. Well, there is one more meaning to this. So it's related to communication. Communicated in imprecise way. Communicated in imprecise way, or you can say imprecise or inexact. That means it's not clear. Okay, it's related to rules or whatever the sayings. Now let's look at the sentence one here. What is given? The judges determined that the law was too vague to be fairly enforced. The judges determined that. What did they determine? The law was too vague. That means it's not clear. It's too uncertain. It is not properly given, precisely not mentioned to be fairly enforced. Yes, the sentence seems fair. It is correctly used. Vague is correctly used in sentence 1. So 1 is correct. Now look at second sentence. The merger of these two companies would make the world's biggest accounting company. The merger of two different companies would make the world's biggest accounting firm. That means would uncertain, would inexact, would imprecise. It's not giving sense contextually and grammatically. So it is incorrect. You cannot take second one. Now look at the third one. The president had a vague reception in Ohio this morning. So we generally say warm reception. Vague reception means uncertain reception. It is inexact reception. That doesn't give any sense here. So your answer should be only one. Here you got option A, only one as your answer. Well, here is the next question. Your time starts now. Well, your time is up. So here also you are asked to choose from the given sentences where the word escalate is contextually and grammatically correctly used. It is also given in SBI Clerk Prelims 2020. Here is your sentence number 1. Escalate. Before that, let's learn the meaning of escalate. So what is meant by escalator? We generally take escalators. So what does they do? Right. So what did they do? They increase rapidly. Increase rapidly. I'm talking about escalate as a verb. So escalate, one meaning is to increase rapidly. And second meaning of escalate, one more meaning of escalate is to make more intense or serious. To make something more intense or serious, that is the other meaning of escalate. Now look at sentence 1 here. The pedestrian was jaywalking. You know jaywalking, right? What is it by jaywalking? Jaywalk means to cross the, we have learned in our class, jaywalk means to cross or walk on streets, or we can say road, in a careless and dangerous way. A careless and dangerous way. That is what we call jaywalk. We have learned it. The people who painted the town red jaywalk. So you got that meaning, right? Now look at this. The pedestrian was jaywalking. That means he's not giving regard to the traffic rules, and he can be hit by any vehicle. That's what happening here. The pedestrian was jaywalking when he escalated the busy street, walking straight into the path of an oncoming vehicle. He escalate the busy street. That means he increase a rapidly busy street. He escalate the busy street. He escalate is walking, you can say, but not the busy street. So here the sense is incorrect, so you cannot take first sentence. Now look at the sentence 2. We have tried to escalate the most likely problems. You see, when you give complaint to any customer care, once you made a call and they receive the complaint, and after a weekdays or some days, if they didn't respond, you make a call again, and then they generally say, certainly we'll escalate your complaint, we escalate this issue, right? So that means they will make it more serious. But here you see, escalate the most likely problems, that means they make the problems more intense. Doesn't give sense, right? So we have tried to escalate the most likely problems. No sense. But it's impossible to be prepared for every eventuality. There is no sense. You cannot take second sentence. Now look at sentence 3. The decision to escalate UN involvement, the decision to escalate UN involvement has been made in the hopes of a swift end to the hostilities. Swift means what? Very fast, not the car swift. Here swift means very fast, quick, rapid. So end to the hostilities. We already learned what is going to be hostile, hostility, enmity. Now the decision to escalate UN involvement, the decision to escalate, that means the decision to make the UN involvement more intense or more serious has been made in the hopes of a swift end to the hostilities, enmities. That means here escalate is giving appropriate sense contextually and grammatically. It is correct. So your sentence 3 is the only sentence which is correct with escalate. So look at the options. Only 1, no. 1 and 2, no. 2 and 3, no. Only 3, yes, exactly. So your answer is option D. Right guys, here is the next question. You got 35 seconds to answer. Your time starts now. Well, your time is up. So what you have to do here, you are given here 4 sentences, out of which some may be grammatically. One should be The one which should have no error. That means it should be grammatically and contextually correct. So sentences can be grammatically and contextually incorrect, but what you have to do, you need to find one sentence which has no error and mark that as your answer. So find out the sentences with error and which doesn't have error is your answer. Now look at the sentence 1. India's chocolate market is pegged at 11,000 crore rupees, of which premium chocolates can be sized anywhere among 10% and 15%. What is the error? Let's begin with the first one. India's chocolate market. So we are talking about chocolate market. India's chocolate market is our subject. It is singular. So we got a singular verb. Yes, it is correct. Is pegged, passive voice, is plus V3, correct, at 11,000 crore rupees. Till here there is no error, fine. Of which, this 11,000 crore rupees, of which premium chocolates can be sized anywhere among 10% and 15%. Here how many percentages are given? 2, right? 10, 15. When there are only 2, can you use among here? No, right? So what you have to use? It should be between, not among. It should be between 10% and 15%. Do you remember whenever we use between, you have to use and only. Many people go with 2, no 2, from 2, between and. Do you remember this thing? Between and, because we got only 2. If more than 2, use among. So your sentence A has error. We cannot take that as our answer. Now let's look at sentence B. South Korea, okay, reported 52 new cases of coronavirus. Here, what is the error? South Korea is our subject. Fine. Reported, verb, past tense. Okay. 52 new cases of coronavirus. Here we can see 52, not 1, more than 1. That means here we require plural of coronavirus. Fine. There is one more error, guys. Here, reported when? When it is being reported. Is there any particular time mentioned here? No, right? Is there any time indicator? No. When? Yesterday? Last week? When? We are not sure. Time is not mentioned. When there is no time mentioned, what we have to do? We have to write that sentence in perfect tense, present perfect tense. So, South Korea, let me put it as this, SK, South Korea has reported, has plus V3, has reported 52 new cases. Here we require plural, 52 new cases of coronavirus. So here has and here cases. So second one is also incorrect. Now let's see sentence C. ITC, okay, is our subject. Company brand ITC has plans to work with cocoa farmers directly in future. Fine. Now let's learn this in detail. Here ITC is our subject, which is singular, right? So singular subject takes singular verb, ITC singular, so has singular, correct, fine. Has what? Plans, okay, to infinitive. So has plans to work with is correct. You work with or you work for, not work in. So like you can say, I can say in fact, I'm working for IACE. I'm working with Mr. Joy or something like that. Okay, so not other one. So your with is correct, to work with cocoa farmers directly in future. The sentence is absolutely correct. There is no error in sentence C. So that should be our answer. However, let us see sentence D before going ahead. The company initially invested, okay, the company initially invested 100 crore rupees to set up a greenfield chocolate manufacture facility in Haridwar. What is the error? The sentence is correct, right? What is the error? Look at this. The company singular, okay. Initially invested, past tense, okay, 100 crore rupees to set up a greenfield chocolate manufacture facility in Haridwar. What is that? Now, fine. Initially invested 100 crore rupees. When? When? Is there any time mentioned here? When it is initially invested, there is no time indicator. I already told you, when there is no time indicator, you have to write it in perfect tense. And here you see, we generally go with present perfect tense. But here, already we are saying to set up a greenfield chocolate manufacture facility in Haridwar. That means here we are, here except for South Korea sentence, all these three sentences expressing similar things, chocolate things, right? So they express, the sentence express it's already invested, initially invested. That means it's already taken place. So we better go ahead with past perfect. However, if it is only a single sentence without any connection, you can go with present perfect too. So what I do here is, the company had initially invested 100 crore rupees, whatever is that. So here we require had plus V3. So sentence D is also incorrect. So you got your answer, that is option. Well, here is the next sentence. Your time starts now. Well, your time is up. Here also you're asked to choose the sentence from the given sentences which should be grammatically and contextually correct. 4 sentences are given. Let's see. Sentence A, and it is also from SBI Clerk Prelims 2020. Now, if you look at sentence A, what is given? Ratnakar Bank was renamed as RBL Bank by the government. Ratnakar Bank Limited is RBL full form. So Ratnakar Bank was renamed. Does it give sense here? Was renamed? No, right? So what is was renamed? So the sentence is in passive voice. It's very clear. Ratnakar Bank was renamed. No, it's not correct. Because in passive voice, generally, we go with main verb in V3, past perfect. So what it should be? Ratnakar Bank was renamed. In passive, the main verb should be always in V3, renamed as RBL Bank by the government. So first sentence, that is sentence A, is incorrect. Now look at sentence B. The government is our subject, fine, expects all the mergers of public sector banks which were announced in 2019 to become effective from April 1st. Okay, now let's see whether there is any error. The government is our subject, which is singular, so we require singular verb. Expects, here verb in singular, it is in simple present, it is correct. All the mergers of public sector banks, which mergers? Which were announced in 2019. They were already announced in 2019. So this which were announced in 2019, this part is additional information given about the merger of public sector banks. So the government expects all the mergers of public sector banks to become effective from is correct, effective from April 1st. So this sentence seems correct grammatically and contextually, which is appropriately use a relative pronoun, which were reflects public sector banks, mergers of public sector banks. Yes. So the sentence B is correct. There is No error. So that should be your answer. However, let us see sentence C and D and find out what is the error. Now, C. Analysts believe that lower gas prices would be bad with exploration. What is the error? Look at this. Analysts believe. Analysts. Subject is plural. We require plural verb. Believe. Correct. Simple present. That. What do they believe? Lower gas prices would be bad with exploration. So here the incorrect usage of preposition with makes the sentence incorrect. It should be bad for exploration. Here exploration gives the sense of investigation. Okay, so bad for, not bad with. So the sentence C is incorrect. Now let us see sentence D. The Central Drugs Standard Control Organization is our subject. The Central Drugs Standard Control Organization will be regulate the medical devices now. Now, let me ask you a question. Is the sentence in the active voice or in the passive voice? Is the sentence in active voice or passive voice? You see, how can you know whether it is in active voice or passive voice? Simple. Active voice means the subject should be the doer of the action. Passive voice, object should be the doer of the action. Ram killed Ravan. Ram killed Ravan. Ram is a subject and Ram does an action there. So that is an active voice. And the passive voice, Ravan was killed by Ram. There was killed. That means who did action? Ravan was killed. Subject Ravan. Ravan did action? No. Killed by Ram. Ram did action. That means object did action. That is passive voice. So now look at this. The Central Drug Standard Control Organization is our subject. Will be regulate the medical devices now. Here the medical devices object. Which is doing action? Is it subject or object? Based on that, you can answer this easily. Here, medical devices are not doing any action. The Central Drug Standard Control Organizations, the subject is doing action. That means the sentence must be in active voice. But will be regulate? No, that's not correct because will be plus V3 will be regulated is a passive voice sense. So you can say the medical devices will be regulated by the Central Drug Standard Control Organization. Now that would be correct, but this is incorrect. We require in active voice. That means what it should be? Simple. Simple future will regulate. Will regulate. So you have to eliminate B form here. Will regulate the medical devices now. So your answer is option C.